Do you ever look at your hands and just remember? As strange as that sounds, I wonder if some people might just know what I'm talking about. Like, you look at your hands and you just remember, you know? Hi. Hi. First, I want to say thank you to the ancestors. Ooh, my spiritual kin. Yes, thank you. Thank you for surrounding me with positive energy. And by positive, I mean everything that I need, everything that is in line with my health, my sanity, my joy, my abundance, my gifts. And for those gifts, I'm truly thankful as well. I'm thankful for the passion that runs through my body. I'm thankful for the wisdom flowing through my veins, flowing through my hair. Oh, this is a patch of wisdom. I've had this since I was a child. Well, a tween? Still a kid. And for the longest time, I didn't know why I had white hair so early, because my parents still aren't really gray. They're hardly graying. So either I was a stressed out child or I have a gift. I believe it's maybe a little bit of both. Either way, I'm thankful. It's part of my my 3D, my 3D appearance, which I probably chose as well. So hey, gotta love it if I chose it, you know? What do we want to talk about today? Tell me, what do we want to talk about today? I would say that there's definitely this feeling right now of knowing that we're building something more, knowing that we're building a whole new world. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But now from way up here, it's crystal clear. I want to do that over. 1 second. Man, in another key? A whole new world, a dazzling place. No, it's not happening. I didn't warm up today. It's my fault. That's what happened. I warmed up for like 5 minutes just to say that I did, because I'm trying to like build the habit a little bit more. But anyway, that's not what I was gonna say. What I wanted to say is that there's definitely a feeling of building something new right now. But this feeling follows one that was not at all in that energy, I feel. It was strange. Of course, I'm trying to separate this from what I was experiencing on an individual basis, because I was going through it, honey. I was going through it. There's a few things that were out of my control that happened, that I just had to figure out how to deal with. Apart from that, even though we're all feeling that there's really great things on the horizon, there's kind of also a feeling of not even stagnancy, and not necessarily blockage. But it wasn't great. It wasn't that feeling that you want to have when you're like, yeah, like new things, da da da. And what I'm realizing is that there must have been some forms of like spiritual battles that were going on that we just aren't privy to. Um, and I know that we came out victorious. And by we, I mean we, you know? So yeah, a lot of us are not necessarily tapped into that realm all the time. And that's okay, because I don't think we all came here to do that. You know, I don't think we all came here to bridge. Some of us did, others not so much. Everybody is part of this huge mosaic, you know? And we're all here to do our part. And it's all as important, and it's all as beautiful, and it's all as wonderful. I know that I'm here as a messenger. In some ways, I'm still figuring out how to do that. Because, I mean, I'm just gonna say it on my Muhammad Ali, on my Kanye West, okay? I'm multi-talented, honey. So sometimes I'm like, how can I, you know? And I realized like recently, like, yo, I should definitely start speaking in public. And singing is always going to be a thing, is how I feel. And then there's also writing. I've written a lot in the past, but not necessarily in ways that were really contributing to the collective, if that makes sense. It was contributing in some way, but just not in the way that was fulfilling to me, and probably not fulfilling in terms of my mission here, you know? So it's really exciting to kind of move forward past that energy that I was speaking of before, where it's like, when you open up all your windows in your house, you know, you're like, whoa, I didn't realize I needed that fresh air like that. Like, it's fresh, and it's like, okay. And of course, it is in line with the seasons. Don't get me wrong. Like, spring is here for people who are experiencing, you know, spring. But I think it's deeper than that still. I still think it's deeper than that, because during this whole winter that wasn't the feeling that I was getting the whole winter. It was really just like the past couple of weeks. Yeah. Because even when I was going through some intense things, the energy in general was like much lighter, and it was easy for me to like get through. But yeah, recently that was, I don't know what that was, but I'm glad it's over, honey. It's over. It's over. Woo! It's okay. I'm like really excited. It's over. Because that was not cute. Now, I'm just here to remind you. That you're not alone. Even in the physical, when you feel like you're alone, you're not alone. There are people, energies, spirits, entities. I'm not sure what you identify with. Either way, I'm going to say energy or vibration, because science, you know, everything's always in vibration. Everything is always in movement. And everything is always in existence. You know, nothing ever leaves. Nothing's ever destroyed. So there's always energies that are working in your favor, and that are protecting you, and that are there to guide you, and there to open up doors and avenues, windows, highways, whatever, you know? And sometimes it's just hard to remember, especially if you're on this journey alone. And I know that a lot of us have been alone on this journey, and it's okay. I'm here for you. But even so, even if one day there's no more internet and you can't tap in to my channel, I just want you to remember you're never alone. And that's why it's so important to connect to your higher power, whatever that is. You know, I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. You know, I think I'm still going to attract people that might have similar beliefs to me. But if you're like an atheist, which I'm not, like, that's fine too, you know? But it's important to see that there's something bigger and grander than you, even if you were an atheist, for example. Because honestly, I'm just not sure how you might be just like wading in the waters of like materialness in all its like perfection and intricacies and complexity, and not feel like you're part of something bigger, you know, whether you take it to a spiritual level or not. But hey, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm gonna speak to y'all spiritual baddies. Because I'm not even trying to please everybody right now. You know, I'm a Libra, so I do tend to try to be like, hey, it's okay, you can come over. But listen, like, if you're not spiritual, if you're just like, what the fuck, you're still welcome, because I mean, we don't always have to agree, and you know, learning is cool too. So there could be an exchange that can happen. That's awesome. And see, I'm doing it again. See, I'm doing it again. I can't stop. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome. All right, let me just sip my tea real quick. All right, honey. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to pull some cards. And at the same time, I'm wondering, do you ever look at your hands and just remember? As strange as that sounds, I wonder if some people might just know what I'm talking about. Like, you look at your hands and you just remember. You know? You're like, whoo! Yes. It's like, it's like you know why you're here. You remember why you came, maybe. And maybe it's just also like a feeling, you know? I want to maybe do like a multi-deck. Oh, let me just move this a little bit. Okay. Like a multi-deck situation. Just cleansing my cards real quick. Alrighty. Okay. Damn, okay. I wonder if this reading is just supposed to be for me though, so I'm not even gonna share that part with y'all. Because I think that's just for me. Yep. Yes. 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 Okay. Right. I'm gonna have to only use the moon deck, I think, for now. Because I was thinking about pulling some cards for myself earlier and I didn't, but I did have a question in mind. But I didn't pull the cards yet, so I think, well, I know that's literally what that was about. So I'm gonna just let that deck chill real quick and go ahead with this one first. Yeah, I guess now it's like, okay, now that the energy is clear, and it was weird to have that energy during Aries season too. Like Aries season started off like, okay, and then it was like, something's going on. Honestly, if you haven't felt that energy, that's totally fine and like good for you, honestly. Good for you. Yeah. Wow, okay, so I, yeah. So this is fitting actually. Here. I don't see, yeah, you see that? I wonder if it's gonna be in reverse like that on the, maybe, hey? Anyway, but it's the South Node card of the Moonology tarot deck. And it says, don't let your past hold you back. And it's so interesting because I keep seeing that, or like messages similar to that. Don't let your past hold you back. This like really wonderful artist, singer, posted something the other day too that said something like you can't move forward in the rubble of your past or something like that. I don't know. But it was just very like, okay, it's about moving forward. And, you know, I think it does speak to the energy that we were experiencing recently. And, you know, I was saying like a couple weeks, but at the same time, I think it's wider than that because time isn't linear anyway. So, you know, even if you see this like in a couple years after I post it, it might still be like relevant. But in general, I think we've definitely been living in a space where like we know that there's more. We know what the truth is. Like we be knowing what's up. The only thing is that the world around us doesn't reflect these truths, right? It doesn't necessarily like reflect what we know to be true and how we know that we should be operating or how we want to operate, you know? So it's like, okay, I might be feeling like cool internally, but then what's going on out here, you know? I think the more also that we realize that our internal will come through and manifest in the material, and the more people are doing that, you know, the more we'll be able to see those changes. So even though in the past you might not have felt like you're in the right environment to thrive or in the right state of mind or just circumstances, just let that go. Every day is a new day to create change and create the world that you want to live in, even just on an individual level, because as I said, we're all this like mosaic, right? And if every individual is like leveling up and feeling better and doing better and contributing, then I mean it's all gonna come together, you know. And no matter who you felt like you were yesterday, no matter who you thought you were yesterday, today and tomorrow and the day after that, although it's not promised, you can know for sure that you are always able to take another step in the right direction and step into your power, right? 1 second here. I want to get this other deck. This other deck. Ooh. Ooh. Right. Oh. What's that? Did that just flip on its own? How did that happen? Yeah, that's okay. Interesting. What? Okay, honey, stop. Okay, I'm not even sure why this card was flipped already in my deck. So it kind of just like peeked out like, hi, I'm here. Like, I don't need to jump out. I'm just gonna... Interesting. Okay. So this is the image of somebody, you know, like kneeling over this body of water and as if they're like cleansing their hands or plunging their hands. And I mean, essentially they be looking at their hands. And this card is called I Remember. And honey, didn't I just say like, don't you ever look at your hands and you just remember? let me just thank you. Thank you for coming through in this reading, honey. I am so appreciative of these confirmations because it just doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than that because in this world, honey, ooh, I keep saying honey because it's just so sweet. Ooh, ooh. Yes. It says, I remember. So it says, soul plan, right? Like, what did you come here to do? And that's what I was kind of like tapping into earlier. Like the mission, like who are you meant to be in this world, in this lifetime? Like I said, I'm a messenger. And it's like, okay, but like what kind? And then the question can come forward as what would be the difference between, as it says on this card, the fated life versus the destiny life. Ultimately, we already know how our life is gonna like go down in a way, right? But free will is always possible. Like we always have free will. So it's almost like, do you want to venture off your destiny? Or venture off your fate? And what does that mean to you? Actually, let's read the message that the author has. This is Rebecca Campbell. But I just love that this card came through because it's like, that's what I was feeling. Like saying like, okay, yeah, I know why I'm here. I know that I even like chose this form. I know that I chose my patch on my head, this gray hair. I know that I chose to be here. And it's like, okay, but like, why? Why? Like, who would why would you choose to be here? We be saying that the earth is ghetto. And when we say ghetto, we're not even saying it in like the cool way of like, ooh, no, like humans have done a job at making this kind of, not everyone would recommend it. Let's just say that, right? So it's like, okay, why are you here then? Like, why would you come to something that's not really like, people aren't raving about on Yelp, you know? So let's see. I'm just gonna read it, right? There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now. When you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. I don't know why I'm like reading it like that. I think it's just because I think I'm reading it like that because it's like, these are just reminders. And yes, it's called Remember, but it's like, it's amazing. I don't know. I'm kind of having like a good time right now. It's like healing something in me at the same time. Probably just like that release of energy that's going on. Ooh, this full moon. Oh my gosh. Okay. I remember. Yes. I've been looking at my house, my house. Ooh. I mean, yes. I wanted to say hands, but then I said house, which, I mean, your body is your temple. It is your home. It is the only home that you will have forever. So that also makes sense. I love when like words just like flow through. Because I am the messenger. Okay. Let me finish reading. All right. We live in a world of free will, right? And therefore these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one we were born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with the choice to follow the destiny life, over the fated life, to trust the path your soul is calling you toward, and to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's timeline. Come on. Can I get a... Yes. Thank you, Rebecca Campbell. You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking the perfectly laid out path before you or choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, Okay, you're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. When you're confronted with a path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero in his life or her journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through it. It's all part of the larger plan. So then the inquiry is, what are you being called to do to surrender to your soul's plan? What are being called to do to surrender to your soul's plan? That's actually a great question. That could be a journal prompt. That could definitely be a journal prompt. What could you do? I feel like I want one more card here. But yeah, don't let your past hold you back. And then remember your soul plan. What a beautiful message. I feel like there's just like one little link left. And maybe not, but we'll see. It's just so great to have this new energy coming through. And by new, it's not really that new. It's remembering. Especially when you remember that you've already lived this whole life before, you know? It's kind of cool to like live through it though. It's almost like seeing a movie trailer. And like, you know exactly what's going, like a Hollywood movie trailer, let me be clear. Like one of those, like, you know exactly what's going to go down, but it's more of like oh, but how is it going to go down? Like, we'll see, you know? Then again, you also know the how, but you know what I mean? You forget the how, which makes it interesting. And all right. It says baby steps. That's funny, that comes through again today. Baby steps. It says, I'm just going to show you what the card looks like here. Ooh, can you see that? Yeah. It says action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. And that's just going along again with the I remember card, right? Like, how are we meant to surrender? Baby steps. There's your answer. And yes, baby steps is about faith in the sense that, you know, it's supposed to be like, okay, when we say that as a general expression, it's like, okay, well, you know, just take it one step at a time, you know, and you'll make it through. And even though you don't know necessarily how it's gonna go, you just take that step. What's interesting too, though, and I just read something recently, maybe on Twitter, I don't know, but someone was talking about the expression of baby steps and saying, like, oh, baby steps is supposed to be like, yeah, like one little tiny step at a time. But at the same time, when you see a baby, a toddler taking their first steps, they're going for it. They're not hesitating at all. And it's with such a sense of like, yeah, I'm gonna conquer this, you know? And they fall and they're like totally fine with it. Like, you never see a baby falling from like trying to walk and crying. Never. Now, me on the other hand, I be trying to walk this path sometimes and I'm like, oh. It's not always easy. It's not always easy, and that's okay. And it's just it's just about remembering why we're here and being as hopeful and as natural as them babies when they try to walk. And when I say try, I mean they're just doing it. They just do it. And it's amazing. And when they're doing it and they're falling, never for a second are they thinking, oh, I fell. I guess walking's not for me. Right? No. It's like there's no question. They just like keep doing it. So even if you fall on this journey, you know what to do, honey. You know what to do. You get back up and you keep on going. And you just take one step at a time and you surrender, you know? Keep that faith. And honestly, every single time I think that things are just like not working out for me, and then I like remind myself of my power and the power that surrounds me, especially, then I'm like, oh, this is not so bad. And then things start feeling better. And then boom, 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 opportunities come just like flying in my face. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot. That energy, that power that we hold inside of us, you know, if you've been indoctrinated in Christianity, you know, they talk about like heaven being inside of you. Can't remember the scripture exactly, but you know what I'm trying to say. If you grew up in the church, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you, or something like that, right? That's a lot when you think about it. And if heaven is inside of your home, inside of your temple, then isn't it possible to bring that in expression, in an outwards expression? Yes, it is possible. That's the only way, actually, that things come into fruition and that we create things. It comes from the inside first and then outside. Every single thing that we see came from the inside first and then flowed outwardly, you know? So yeah, I think this was the message for today. Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about, but something told me, like, just sit down, get your cards, cleanse your space a little bit, and give this message. So I really, really hope that this was helpful to somebody. I know I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I know that this is going to help at least one other person, and that's what I'm here for, honestly. So yeah, don't let your past hold you back. Don't let your past hold you back. No, don't let your past hold you back. Don't let your past hold you back. No, don't let your past hold you back. And remember, you always got to remember, it's your power. You always got to remember, yeah, it's your power within you. It's your power, yeah. You got to remember your power. It's within, Oh yeah, and the last one is baby steps. Okay? Baby steps. And also, one little thing, just like and then maybe I'll make a video about this because I was thinking about this earlier. Baby steps. Just remember how I felt to be like a kid again. Literally, like, all the little things that might seem so boring right now, or like not interesting in the mundane, like, if I put myself in the mind of when I was like a 7-year-old or like an 8-year-old or whatever, all these things seem so much cooler. Like, even just like going for coffee on my way to work. How cool cool is that? If you like put yourself in the mind of like your child self, like maybe that's just, okay, going for coffee might not be your thing, but this is just an example, you know? Like, oh, getting dressed to go to work and picking out an outfit. Like, whoa, you get to wear high heels? That's amazing. Haven't you been waiting so long to wear high heels? No, you finally can. Isn't that cool? You get to wear makeup if you want to. Whoa. Amazing. You hailed a taxi or called an Uber, whatever. You know, it's like, yo, these little things, like we were looking forward to these things. Just remember that. So yeah, baby steps, honey. That's all I got today. I hope you feel great. And I want you to remember that you are magic, okay? You are magic, baby. All right, I'll see you next time.